Hey guys, how you doing today? So I've got a product review of a Rexing V1P SE dash cam, and this was sent to me by Rexing. They saw my video that I put up on YouTube of the wreck I was involved with, and they asked me if I would be interested in taking a look at their 4K dual dash cam. It's 4K for the front camera and 1080p for the rear. And so we're going to get this out of the box, but first let me read some specs that are important if you're looking at dash cams. Now, I highly recommend a 4K dash cam just because there's so much more resolution and detail. If you need to get a tag number or a description of a car or a person, you're going to have a lot better chance if you have 4K footage versus 1080p. But this is a two-channel dash cam. It's got a rear camera and a front, and like I said, the rear camera is 1080p, but the front is 4K. It's got parking monitor. You can control it with your app. It's got a GPS built in it so that you can get your speed and location. Now, one of the most important things, in my opinion, other than the 4K part of it, is it's got the super capacitor. Now, what's a super capacitor? Well, dash cams of years ago, and even some of the cheaper ones today, have just little lithium-ion batteries built inside them. The problem with that is the heat, that the inside of your car is going to reach sitting in the sun, ends up just taking its toll on batteries. So supercapacitors will take the place of the internal battery, and they can withstand that heat and cold. So if you get it, whichever dash cam you choose, make sure it's got a supercapacitor as opposed to a battery. It does have night vision. Of course, it does loop record. They all do that. Has collision sensing, which most all of them do. You can put up to a 512 gigabyte SD card in it, 170 degree view. It does have an LCD screen. It says here working temperature is about 20 degrees to 176 degrees. Of course, it's auto on-off, so when you start the car, it's going to automatically start recording. It does have parking mode, like I said earlier, so whenever it's parked, if you have that enabled, it will record what's going on around your vehicle. It does have an internal mic, so it'll record audio. And it comes with a CPL filter. A CPL filter, on a lot of cameras, you've got to buy separately. And what that does, it reduces glare. So if you got glare coming off of the like at the back of a window, or a chrome bumper, or buildings, or headlights, or whatever, even your own dash, the CPL filter will help filter that out. And I've got another video that actually shows the difference of the dash cam that I've got in my truck with and without the CPL filter installed, if you're interested in seeing the difference. So let's get this out. We're going to so what my plan is, we're going to take a look and see what all it comes with. Now, this box was sealed up, and it did have the 64 gigabyte SD card in the box. I cut this seal, so I don't know if they sent that just so that I would have it for the review, or if that comes with this normally. So if you order yours, I hate to tell you that you're going to get this SD card, because you may or may not. It was sitting in there just like that. So we did have that. We'll just take a quick look. But yeah, my plan is we're going to hook this up, and I'm going to show you the menu and what all the options on it, and then I'm just going to do a real quick install in my son's Tacoma, which is where this dash cam is going, and then I'm going to drive around and show you the actual footage of day and night footage from this dash cam. But of course, this is it. Of course, you can, whenever this is stuck to the window, this is how you aim your camera. SD card, looks like an on-off button, a reset button. Not sure what this button is. Of course, you got your buttons here. Your power there. I'm not sure about this port. This, I believe, is the rear camera port. And we'll find all this out whenever we go to install. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, some cords. Got a manual. A template type deal that you stick to your windshield so that you can stick your camera to that. This is the power. Now this is the typical power port that most of them will come with, where it just plugs into a 12-volt cigarette lighter style adapter, and then this end plugs into the camera. You can buy a hardwire kit for these. I've already got my son's installed with a hardwire kit, which is hopefully all these pinouts are the same, so I'm just going to plug. This is the same style plug that my son's camera's got, so we're just going to plug that straight into this camera, and hopefully it works all right. What all's in this box? Okay, there's the filters for both the front and rear cameras. And CPL filters are, they've got to be clocked a certain way for them to be fully functional and work the way they're supposed to. There's one of the mounts. Of course, you got your 3M double-sided tape, which is the best tape in the industry for sticking stuff to your windshield. Got some little wire standoffs that you can place wherever you need to route the wire. I normally just shove it up into the headliner, so I'm probably not going to use those, but they are there if you need it. Got a little trim tool, looks like, to pry things apart. A little cord to hook the camera to your computer. And it looks like you got two mounts here. I guess one's going to be for the front, one's going to, well, the back, no, the back just sticks straight to the window. So I guess they just send an extra mount just in case. So here's the rear camera. I already got the 3M tape on there, so this will just stick to your back window. Then you'll aim the camera right out the back window. Then you'll route this wire up through the headliner to the port on the front camera. So let me get this thing powered up. We'll go ahead and pull this little screen protector off. And I'm going to get this powered up so that we can take a look at the scroll through the options and see what we got. And I'm going to go ahead and put that SD card in. So let me get set up. Let me route a cord over here, and we'll get started. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get this thing plugged in. We should see it boot up here. Got the SD card installed. Now, most all dash cams, just as soon as they receive power, they automatically start recording, just as this one did. Which is what you want, in a dash cam. So usually you've got to stop the recording. That shuts the screen off. Before you can get into the menu, which is probably what this button, yeah, that's what that button's going to do. And then, yeah, there we go. So first we're going to take a look at the resolution. You know what, let me close this garage door. So let's see. I'm going to hit OK to that, and that is on. Yep, that's on the highest resolution, which is what I want. That was by default. I do want dual recording, so I'm going to turn that on. Loop recording, 1 minute loops. I'll go ahead and change that to 2 minute. Date stamp, I do want on. Do not care about plate number, so we're going to keep that off. I'm going to keep that off. Probably leave exposure set right where it's at. WDR is good to have. We'll go ahead and leave it. That's set to on right now, so we'll leave that at that setting, record audio. I generally like to record audio, so we'll turn that on. G sensor. We'll go ahead and go to medium on that. Wi-Fi, normally, if you want to connect this to your phone, you've got to usually turn this on, connect it, change your settings, pull your videos off, whatever you need to do, and then whenever you shut the vehicle off and power, you lose power to this, and the next time you turn the vehicle on, this will go back to off. The Wi-Fi typically will not stay turned on, because if it does and you've got it hardwired, then it'll run your battery down quicker. So I'm just going to leave that off at this point. Parking monitor. To use parking monitor, please connect smart hardwire kit. I'm going to hit OK. And we're going to, whoops. G sensor, and I'm just going to do time-lapse record. And what that does is that does a time-lapse. That way you're not going to rely on the G sensor to pick up anything. If someone, walks by and does anything to your vehicle, then you may have a description of them on a time-lapse recording. Okay, and I think that right there was everything that we need at this point. I need to set the time. Where's the time set at? Self timer, resolution, sequence, quality. Make sure quality is on. Yeah, we'll just keep it on. You know what, I'm going to go and change that to fine. Sharpness, white balance, color. Let's take a look at ISO. What's it set at? Auto, that's good. Exposure. I think we was already at exposure, wasn't we? Anti-shake. Yeah, we'll just leave that off. Quick review. Okay, we've already been here, haven't we? Date, time. Trying to find where to set the. Right, there we go. Okay. Frequency, 60 hertz is what you want on that. Language, daylight savings. You can turn the GPS speed on and off. I'll go ahead and leave that on. Set time zone. I think actually where I'm at is -6. Chicago time zone. Screensaver. We'll go ahead and format the card just to make sure it's all good to go. Auto power off. I want to set it for 2 minutes. Beep sound, I'm going to turn that off. Frequency we've already set. Okay, I think okay. I guess that's all the menu we got. I think we've hit everything. So let me go over to the truck and start getting this thing installed, and we will keep on going. Alright guys, so I've got my son's old dash cam removed from the window. We got our 3M double-sided tape. I have cleaned this mount up. I have cleaned this mount just using some isopropyl alcohol. I've let it dry real good. I've got it cleaned up right here. And I'm just going to stick that double-sided tape on the back of the mount. You know, this mount is removable. The best way to do this, so you know exactly that the camera's in the proper spot, is to put the mount on the camera, and then you can hold the camera up, you know, to where it needs to go, so that you can tell exactly where to position it. If you just take a guess and put the mount, like stick it on the window, and then you go to try to snap your camera in, and you found out that you either went too high or you're way too low or whatever. So put it on the camera first, stick it on the window where it needs to go. Probably about right there in this particular situation. And just make sure your window's clean. And don't forget to peel your screen protector off before you call it a final deal. So, and like I said, I'm not going to film this whole install. Tips and tricks is about all this is going to do. Then I'm going to show you the footage. I'm going to show you nighttime footage and daytime footage, and we're going to go from there. We're going to see what kind of quality this thing puts out. So right now, oh, and if you want to see the install of the wiring, I've got 2 other videos on my channel. One's on a Lexus and one is on this truck right here, that GMC truck, of installing dash cams. Both of them have rear cameras, and so I've got the video showing the full install of the camera, wiring the wiring up, routing the rear camera up here to the front. It's really easy. It's no big deal. So I'm not going to film this one doing that. Otherwise, this video is going to get longer and longer. So let me get this camera mounted, and then I'll kind of show you what I did to get the rear camera mounted once I get to that point. And then at that time, it'll be installed, and then I'll show you the footage. All right, now one thing you need to know about the CPL filter. So right now I've just got the filter sitting up here on the lens, and I'm going to try to show you this. If you look right there, you see how you can see my hand? I'm just putting my hand on the dash like that. Now that's the common dash cam, you know, not really problem, but issue with reflection. Now you can kind of see my hand reflection. Let me reposition here so I can get it better. Okay, so there's my hand again. You rotate this, see how much less reflection there is now? And that's how you tune the filter. You just keep rotating it until the reflection is less and less, until, you know, it gets to a minimum. I want to rotate it back to where it was. You can see how much, you know, more of a nuisance that reflection is there with my hand. So that's what you need to know. Now once you get it to where you need it, it's got a little set screw, and it comes with a little screwdriver to tighten that up. And if that set screw is not in the position to where you can just get straight on it from the bottom, just snap the dash cam off, and then you can tighten it up. But anyway, that's the one thing you need to know about the CPL filters. You don't just put them on anywhere and leave them. You've got to tune them to where they're doing their job. They are a polarizing filter. CPL, circular polarizing lens, is what CPL stands for. So anyway, that's one thing you need to know. Okay, and just to show you how easy mounting the camera and running the wire is, the rear camera, is I've got the rear camera mounted. Now the one thing you want to, you know, be cautious of is anything that could interfere with it.
For instance, that headrest, make sure, you know, you move your headrest if you've got rear headrest up and down to make sure it's not going to interfere with the camera. If you've got a sliding window, you know, you could put it on this side, but if you've got a sliding window and then you try to open it, obviously you're not going to be able to. So I chose that side. You can put it over in the corner. You can put it over here in the corner here. Running the wire is just as easy as pulling down the headliner just a little bit and just shoving the wiring right up in top. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. And then same deal right here. And then I'm just going to wad any excess up and stick it up into the headliner. You know, roll it up and just let it rest up inside the headliner. And then I'll plug it in and this install will be done. This is a 2011 Toyota Tacoma. Your vehicle obviously will be different, but it should be similar the way the install is. And like I said, I've got a couple other videos showing different installs on 2 other vehicles. Alright, so there's the dash cam. We're almost there. I've got the wire shoved up into the headliner right here. I just followed it around right here. You can kind of see a little bit of it right there. I pulled it too tight. And what I've chose to do on this particular vehicle, instead of just wadding it up right here underneath the headliner, there was one screw that held this console in. And that's actually where I hardwired this dash cam, or the old dash cam, into the wiring up here. Everything I needed was up here to hardwire it in. So what I'm going to do now is just pull all this excess. I'm going to pull it up into this cavity and hide it that way. And now I'll zip tie it all up in here, kind of like what I did with the original wiring there. Snap this back up there, and this will be completely done as far as the install. And then I'll get you guys some footage so you can see what it looks like right there. And just so I don't forget, that screen, you can set it to timeout. So it's not going to, you can have it on all the time, or you can have it time out to where after like 1 minute after the vehicle's running, then the screen goes black. That's usually what I do. I have it to where about 1 minute into it powering up, then it goes black. I don't need to look at that screen, you know, or anything like that. So, but that's a personal preference. It's all up to you. Got me an Amazon package. Always gotta like that. The audio I'm using is the audio from the dash cam. We'll go this way. Then we'll turn around and go back the other way. So Bel Air Estates, should be able to read that nice and clear. We got some signs up here we should be able to read no problem.